This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
And good evening at 7 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. A school bus transportation company has removed a driver from an IPS bus route after frustrated parents reached out to RTV6.
They say their kids were left at their bus stop this morning, and it's not the first time. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum set out to find answers.
This is the corner an IPS school bus is supposed to stop at to pick kids up and bring them to school number 49 on the southwest side of Indianapolis. But families tell us this morning the bus never came. Their kids waited more than an hour for it because this is their only form of transportation to the school.
We just kept waiting and waiting.
This isn't the first time the bus failed to show up either. Parents tell us calls to the district and the company that runs the bus service for IPS have gone unreturned. Now they're reaching out to RTV6 for help, saying this is starting to impact their children's education.
It's hurting her school, hurting her learning and stuff, because this makes like 7 times she's missed because of it. Because I don't drive, so.
They put her down to a D in choir, because choir's the first class. So she has a D in choir. All the rest of the classes are B's, and I want her to succeed in this life. And not getting to school is not going to do it.
So now they're working to get this resolved before it happens to anyone else.
There's no telling how many other kids are standing on bus stops that they've not called and asked for help. I'm begging for help to get my daughter to school.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Durham School Services operates the bus route in question and others for IPS. In a statement, the company says the new driver on the route today and missed that stop. Durham says another driver has been assigned to this route moving forward, and the company apologizes to the students and parents. If you have an issue in your life, you need help resolving it, connect with RTV6. Call us or send an email to workingforyou@rtv6.com, and we will see what we can do.
An Indiana mom's quest to get more stringent warnings on popular antibiotics has hit a roadblock. The FDA has not taken action on a citizen petition filed 6 months ago. Indiana mom Heather McCarthy has been pushing for changes after the 2013 death of her son Shay. She says Shay was suffering from mental health side effects from the antibiotic Levaquin and died after he crashed his car into a cement embankment. The Southern Network for Adverse Reactions and Dr. Charles Bennett submitted a petition to the FDA requesting a black box warning to identify psychiatric adverse events, including suicide. The petition also requests the FDA add fluoroquinolone associated disability to the black box warning. Heather McCarthy and Dr. Bennett are upset with the FDA's response and lack of investigation.
It's really important, this question, because without these a well-written product label, patients are uninformed. And here we have a side effect that includes suicide, that includes psychiatric disabilities, neuropsychiatric disabilities for over 10 years in time. For a drug that's been used, Cipro and levofloxacin, by 22 million people in the United States last year, about 10% of the population.
The drug maker Janssen stopped making brand name Levaquin in December 2017. However, the product may remain on shelves until September of this year. Also, millions of Americans are still taking generic versions of the drugs. The makers of Levaquin stand by the safety of the medication. We reached out to the FDA for a response a week ago, and they just sent us a response saying they are working to resolve the issues raised in the petition.
Let's give you a live look from our Weather Now camera at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, showing the downtown Indianapolis skyline on what is shaped up to be a clear evening. Storm Team 6 meteorologist Alyssa Donovan is in for Kevin tonight, tracking those temperatures.
Yeah, and we are going to be dropping off in the next couple hours here. Our highs today were in the mid-30s. That's where we should be. As we head overnight, we're going to drop close to around 31 degrees by 10 p.m. Clouds are going to continue to build into the area overnight tonight. The good news with that is that's going to help insulate us from any cool, dry air. So tomorrow morning we'll be into the upper 20s and low 30s to start our Thursday. What's going on right now is we have this low pressure system just off to our west that's building into the Midwest. You can see that's moving into Illinois, and that is also pushing those clouds into Indiana. What's going to happen with this is we're just going to continue to build in cloud coverage for most of our Thursday, and then we are going to see a chance of rain coming in late Thursday night. More rain on the way Friday and Saturday. Those details in just a few minutes.
See you in a few. Thank you, Alyssa. Hundreds of Central Indiana kids can use some guidance, but they're waiting for volunteers to step up and become mentors.
RTV6's Stephanie Wade shows you how one organization is connecting young people with adults who can make a difference.
January is National Mentoring Month, and Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Indiana has a huge need for volunteers and mentors. Their wait list of kids just wanting someone to look up to is growing every day.
He showed me that the worldly view of what a man is, it isn't necessarily what a man truly is, you know, and I feel like without that influence in my life, things may have been a lot different.
At 9 years old, Will Ramey's mother signed him up to be a little brother. He grew up without a father and says his big brother Doug's impact was life-changing.
If you have a pull to do it, it's for a reason. You may not be able to quantify what that reason is right now, but the really good stuff in life isn't quantifiable anyway. And you should take a risk and get going and do it.
Years later, they still meet every week for coffee, and the need for mentors like Doug is becoming increasingly important.
We have more than 1,200 kids who have asked for mentors who we've not yet been able to reach. So we're working really hard right now to find more people who are interested in being big brothers, big sisters, big couples, or big friends.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is currently serving more than 1,400 kids this year, the largest number they've ever had on record. But there's still hundreds more hoping they're next in line. 70% of kids waiting are boys. Working for you, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Students at one Indianapolis cosmetology school learn how to save you from a bad hair day, but that's not all. These stylists are also getting special training to possibly save your life. Aspiring stylists here at the McKenzie Center for Innovation and Technology are learning how to detect skin cancer. The training is offered through Eyes on Cancer. That's a company that believes the beauty industry is the first line of defense when it comes to spotting skin cancer. The instructor found out about the initiative after seeing a story on RTV6, and since December 25th, since December, 25 of her students have become certified. Claudia Hack says she is already using what she learned from the course.
My neighbors, I was trimming her hair and I noticed a spot on her neck, and I told her that she might want to get that looked at.
If you're interested in joining the Eyes on Cancer army of certified beauty professionals, you can learn more about signing up. Just go to theindychannel.com.
As one of the top items on Governor Holcomb's agenda this year, a bill would ban you from holding your cell phone while you are driving. And today, the State House Roads and Transportation Committee took up the bill. Victims of crashes involving people who were distracted by phones say the sacrifice is worth saving lives. Tina Smith was with her husband on the side of a highway, checking on their motorcycles when she was hit by a van. She testified today because the van's driver admitted to being distracted by a phone at the time.
Unfortunately, this lady got off scot-free. No ticket. Even though she admitted it to the police, I looked at a phone. Coming across 2 lanes of traffic is not looking at a phone for a second.
The bill was approved by the committee unanimously, sending it to the full House. 21 other states already have hands-free driving laws on the books.
Adding more officers and shrinking the size of the area those officers have to cover.
Those are two of the biggest things the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department has set for its 2020 goals. Today, city leaders went over crime numbers from 2019 and discussed how new initiatives like the Crime Gun Intelligence Center have helped disrupt violent crime. Meanwhile, for the year to come, IMPD says it wants to make police officers' beats smaller but add more beats, increasing the size from 78 to 106 beats. It will add more officers, and that combination means officers will get a better chance to get to know smaller neighborhoods.
Coming up here on RTV6, day 2 of the impeachment trial, and things have been getting heated even at midnight. The latest in the historic impeachment proceedings next.
Plus, a little bit later, it's killing people abroad. Now, the first case has hit U.S. soil. How flights are being affected at one Midwest airport and what local health experts have to say about the coronavirus. This is the news at 7 on RTV6.
Storm Team 6 working for you.
It could be another long night for the Senate on day 2 of President Trump's impeachment trial. Opening statements are underway after Tuesday's debate over the ground rules.
Meanwhile, the president is on his way back to Washington from a foreign policy trip. Camila Bernal is on Capitol Hill with the latest tonight.
Senate will convene.
Senators are back at the Capitol for day 2 in President Donald Trump's Senate impeachment trial, with the House managers starting the clock on the 24 hours they have to present opening arguments in their case against President Trump.
President Trump solicited foreign interference in our democratic elections, abusing the power of his office to seek help from abroad to improve his reelection prospects at home.
Today's opening arguments come after what was a long and at times contentious first day of the trial.
Mr. Nadler, you owe an apology to the President of the United States and his family.
The President's counsel has no standing to talk about lying.
It took the Senate until nearly 2 in the morning Wednesday to finish its first day and come up with the rules and procedures the trial will follow. But Senate Democrats continue to criticize the rules.
Leader McConnell and Senate Republicans don't want a fair trial that considers all the evidence.
Meanwhile, Senate Republicans say the House's case is weak.
Every day we're here doing this is a day we're taken away from doing things that really matter.
It felt like we saw last night was an incomplete case. They have not done their complete homework.
And Trump's defense team will also have 3 days, 24 hours. They'll likely begin on Saturday and continue on Monday and Tuesday. The attorneys are again arguing that the president did nothing wrong. They say there is no crime here, which is why they're asking senators for an acquittal. Reporting on Capitol Hill, I'm Camila Bernal. Back to you.
Coming up here on RTV6, sometimes to fix a problem, you must change things from within. The new push to put more people who served our country in a place of political power. Alyssa.
And that wet weather returns tomorrow, sticking with us into the weekend. Those rain chances increasing every day. I'll have those details coming up. You're watching RTV6 News at 7. We'll be right back.
See your Central Indiana Buick dealer. This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Today, the World Health Organization is trying to determine if the spread of the deadly coronavirus is a global health emergency as the first case arrives in the U.S. this week.
We've been trying to keep you up to speed on this new virus since last week when it first emerged in China. And now some U.S. airports are adding extra precautions. Chicago O'Hare Airport, for example, had a United Airlines flight from Shanghai just last night with 2 people pulled from the plane showing signs of illness. It turned out to be a false alarm, but airports with international flights are taking no chances, with at least 17 people killed in China already by the virus.
Tonight, RTV6 is working for you to make sure we get answers on the coronavirus and the possible risk it carries before it becomes an issue here. We talked to experts at IU Health about the virus, which originated at a wholesale seafood market in Wuhan, China, and has affected more than 400 people at this point. They say there aren't any cases in Indiana yet. There is no vaccine at this point either, but doctors say symptoms include fever combined with symptoms of a lower respiratory illness like coughing or difficulty breathing. If you or someone you know travels internationally, particularly to China, you're urged to keep an eye out for these symptoms. The number of veterans serving in Congress has been declining for decades.
Kai Beach is looking at the push to elect more leaders with military experience.
Political candidates across the country are working their respective campaigns, trying to earn your votes. But of all the people running for all the offices in 2020, there are fewer politicians like these two. Current California Congressman Democrat Salud Carbajal and Republican Casper Stockham, who's running for Congress in Colorado. Both are U.S. military veterans. Carbajal is a former Marine serving as a mortarman.
When we serve our country in the military, there's a common bond, there's a common purpose.
Stockham was in the Air Force, working as a weapons mechanic.
A lot of military people just have a deep down patriotism.
The last midterm election brought a record number of female veterans to Congress. But a new study from the group With Honor Action shows there's a lot fewer vets in Congress overall. The numbers dropped from 322 in 1973 to 101 in 2003, and now 77 serving in 2020. The study says 2 of the biggest challenges for vets wanting to work in Washington are money and political networks. Carbajal and Stockham, however, have their own theories.
you now have a volunteer military where less than 1% of our population serves today in our military. And as a result, you're going to have a lot less veterans.
The reason why that's happening is because a lot of military folks, we're really not all that Republican or Democrat. We're just Americans.
Though they represent two different political parties, both of these politicians believe more vets in office would give our country unique perspectives.
A willingness to work together, to find common ground for a common mission and a common purpose versus getting caught up on our differences.
More military, we're in the running for office and winning those positions. Even if you're Democrat or Republican, we could still find some way to come together to solve these problems.
While having more of a willingness to work together might help break through the gridlock in Washington, it does not guarantee success.
If we had only veterans, it would also not be good. We need to make sure that you have the diversity of backgrounds in Congress, because that's what makes our country the great place that it is.
We have to decide what's important at the end of the day. Is it important to be a Democrat or Republican, or is it important to do what's right for our country?
I'm Kai Beach reporting.
Elizabeth Donovan and
You can tell you're back. We're not used to having Alyssa here. Alyssa Donovan is here.
In for Kevin tonight.
I think my exhaustion is kind of rubbing off on you a little bit from working mornings. I didn't work this morning, and I'm happy to be here tonight.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, but I'm not bringing good news. I'm sorry. I wish I was.
Well, it is winter.
I know. It is winter, and I want to remind people of that right now. Our high today was 36 degrees, and I heard a lot of people saying, oh, it's so cold outside. I want to remind you, it's January. That's our average high this time of year, 36 degrees. So it is exactly on track to where we should be. Those temperatures will warm a little bit as we head through the day tomorrow, and we are going to see some changes coming our way. Overnight tonight, not going to be as cold as it was last night. Last night we hit those teens, and we started this morning very cold. The good news is tomorrow morning we're only going to drop a few more degrees as what we are right now into the low 30s by tomorrow morning, so it's not going to start as cold for your Thursday. Then we do have rain and snow coming in, and between that we are going to see the potential of some warming as we head into next week. So we just have to get through a few hiccups in the forecast before we do start to see some nicer and warmer weather in our forecast. Right now we have those clouds building in. That's all ahead of a low pressure system that's just off to our west that is bringing some active weather across the Midwest right now, and that's starting to move towards us as well. That's not going to make it into our area until later on Thursday, so we're going to start the day very dry as that low pressure continues to build. What it's going to do is bring us a southeasterly wind, which is actually going to help warm us up throughout our Thursday. So our highs tomorrow will reach the low 40s. So just a few degrees warmer than what we saw today, just a little bit above average. Expecting maybe a few flurries to start our Thursday morning along those northwest counties, but most of us will start Thursday dry, and then we will start to see rain moving in by Thursday evening. That's going to start to move in from the southwest, and that will continue to spread into central Indiana throughout our evening. That rain will continue overnight, and then we do have the potential of some snow mixing in there overnight and into our Friday. So just be aware of that. If we do see any snow, it will be very light accumulation and likely that slushy accumulation, so it will melt off very quickly. Continuing to see some snow rain chances on Saturday morning, and then we will start to see that system dry out by Saturday evening. Sunday is actually looking pretty dry. So taking a look at that rainfall potential, looking at the potential of just about a ½ an inch of rainfall from the models we're looking at right now. So not expecting a ton, but we are expecting heavy downpours at times, especially overnight Thursday and into Friday morning. That's when we are expecting the heaviest rainfall with that system. So looking ahead to the weekend, Saturday is the one that you're going to probably want to avoid early morning plans outside. By the evening, things are looking good. Temperatures on Saturday into the upper 30s. On Sunday, staying in the upper 30s, mostly cloudy skies. That's going to be our dry day in the forecast. Taking a look at our 7-day, 41 tomorrow, 42 on Friday. That rain moves in, and then we have that warming trend next week.
Well, today the Butler Bulldogs got their new live mascot, and you've got to get a load of this little cutie here.
Say hello to 3-month-old English Bulldog puppy Butler Blue 4. 7-year-old Butler Blue 3, aka Trip, is retiring at the end of this academic year, leaving an opening for his replacement.
Well, the mascot selection team at Butler hunted for the perfect pooch and finally landing this little guy as the new mascot.
Those who know him say they can tell already he is a special dog, and it looks like he's catching up on his Z's before his schedule gets busy.
Oh, look at him.
He's so cute, dog face.
Still ahead here on 6, we're on the hunt for truckloads of cookies, the delivery of the sweets in the season, and the newest addition to the Girl Scout cookie lineup.
Denture or visit affordabledentures.com.
We're covering breaking news right now near Greenfield. All lanes of I-70, as you see right here, are closed due to a crash and a fire. Dramatic pictures that we're showing you there. This is east of State Road 9 there. This is near mile marker 105. Traffic is being diverted to State Road 9, but expect lanes to be closed for about 2 hours. We will update you on the RTV6 app and the IndyChannel.com. Again, a crash and a fire has closed all lanes of I-70 by Greenfield.
And let's take one more look at the weather. We are going to see that rain move in tomorrow evening. 41 degrees for our high tomorrow.
Well, thanks for making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll be back here at 11.